So Josh McDaniels continues to get more guys so he can implement his system, his ideology, everything like that onto this franchise. And we're really turning it into like the 2018 Patriots, if you think about it. Jimmy Garoppolo, now Brian Hoyer. So you get the two quarterbacks at the top that are guys that already been in your system, that have already been in your kind of culture that you're trying to bring and that you're trying to implement. So Josh McDaniels, it's blatant what he's trying to do. You get Jacoby Myers, you get those two quarterbacks. You bring in Danny Amendola to be your special teams or your return guy. So he's going to be over there. So you're going to have a lot of people in place that already have that mentality, that already have that vibe of what you're trying to bring over as you're the head coach of this new franchise. Now, last year, not to be talking about too much of stuff last year, but why do all of this year if we're just going to give those big contracts out to guys like Waller and Derek Carr? And that right there just doesn't make sense. I gotta knock them for that. I really do gotta knock them for that because really, what'd you get for Carr and Waller? Now, if you think about it, if we would have just traded them last year, we would have probably got something decent, probably a couple of first round picks for Waller and Carr. Now, we give them a big contract, and then what? We get 5 million in dead cap space, and we get a third round pick. Like, come on now. So I have to knock them for that. But moving on, moving forward, looking forward, we do have a lot of draft picks, and this is seems like they knew what they wanted to do when things weren't going the way they expected, they didn't go the way that they probably should have gone. So they get a lot of draft picks. We have a lot of draft picks. We move on from Derek Carr. We go out and we get some veteran quarterbacks, know the system, that are used to it. So, looking in an optimistic lens, I can understand where a lot of people are coming from as far as our fan base. Now, what are we going to do with those draft picks is the ultimate question. That's really where everything is going to happen because based on the way free agency has gone, we're not trying to fix everything right now in this instance. That's what Dave Ziegler said, and that's basically what I've been saying since I've been putting out videos since the offseason. Now, if you want to talk about the past drafts, then it's going to have us all worried. And I'm still worried because they have to prove that they can go out there and pick the right players. Now, we've been hearing about going the trade up for that number 4 spot, I believe, with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, what would that even be for? Because I feel like that would be a shot in the dark if you want to trade up to 4 and you're expecting to get a quarterback because it's too risky. At number 4, you're probably not going to get the guy you want unless you're just going to take the last of the pickings or whatever you want to call it, like a Will Levis, because you could say, let's say Anthony Richardson is gone, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, not in that order, but those three are gone because the top three teams want a quarterback. That leaves you're traded up to get Will Levis at 4. I don't think that makes sense. Now, if you wanted to get a guy like Jalen Carter and jump those other teams, that would be very interesting because then you would be able to get him, or you'd be able to get a quarterback if the teams ahead of you wanted to take him, or they took Will Anderson and they didn't take a quarterback. So you would have a pick of those three. But even then, who is your guy? Or are you just saying any three of them will suffice? I don't see that. I see CJ Stroud is the only one I really want to get. Outside of that, would love to get Jalen Carter. And outside of those guys, I'd have to say cornerback in Gonzalez. Um, I would say Witherspoon. I wouldn't be mad if we got Witherspoon either because he's really good, but I just prefer Gonzalez. And with that being said, man, I gotta see this regime really prove it. Now, who am I? I'm just up here, being ready to tape, talking about the Raiders on YouTube. But at the same time, I've also been a fan and dedicated a lot of time, a lot of money and effort to go support this team, just like everybody else. So our opinions do matter, and I think that at the end of the day, man, we haven't done anything to be good in about 20 years, and it's been over 20 years now because we're going on to 2023, going into 2024 when this season starts and ends. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're just gonna turn into the Patriots and what? Hopefully everything works out and they don't screw us over in the end. Hopefully Mark Davis knows what he's doing. Hopefully he really does. Yet to prove it, but man, we can be optimistic. We've got a lot of draft picks. We do have a little bit of cap space, and let's go out there and get some young ball players that can really make a change in this franchise. And I want to come in and play ball for Josh McDaniels in this regime because that's all we can hope for. You want to hope for that success. So y'all let me know that in the comments what you guys think we're going to do with that first round pick and just in the draft in general and going into this next season. And also tell me what you guys think about this regime and what they've done. they're definitely not trying to fix it in this offseason. Obviously, getting a lot of depth guys, seeing a lot of players that we can keep in the long run, a lot of 1 year contracts. So I'm very interested to see how everything turns out. I'm excited for the draft. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to hit that like button. Check out Redemption Brand as well. We did drop the LV hats. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next time, ready to tape.